if I'm spinning or my engines are off, I'll just get nudged slightly out of the wall. So that, because the thing is there's no reverse button on this, because we're limited with the touchscreen. Yeah. I think a lot of people were, like when they're getting used to the game, they end up running into walls and then they get stuck. And I think if we add a little bit of a nudge from the lateral sides as well, right? Because you can see as I go around this corner, I get stuck on the wall a little bit. So what we'll do, is maybe call this front wall detector. And I might actually bring that length down a little bit more. And that will allow us to turn this value up a little bit. Right? So it only really occurs at a that distance. Okay, and then I think I'm just going to add like a little node here and plonk this underneath. In fact, this needs to be a node 2D, I think. Otherwise, it won't inherit its position correctly. Okay, so we can call these the wall detectors, right? We've got a front wall detector, and let's duplicate this down and call this a left wall detector. And let's just update that to be a -12, 0 direction. Okay, and let's duplicate this down. And let's call that right wall detector. And let's update the x-axis. Cool. Right, so we now have our wall detectors in the 3 most important directions. There's no point in doing it behind, because if there's a wall behind you, you just turn your engines on, right? So no need to handle that. Okay, so we have an onReady var, and I think we need to call this front wall detector. And let's just update our node paths here. So we've got wall detectors / front wall detector. Okay. Oops. And let's update this to left and right. Cool. So we now have a reference to our 3 wall detectors, and let's jump down into our engine integrate forces. Okay, so what's interesting here is I actually think that if we decrease this, so this essentially allows us to get the spin. So if you're spinning into a corner, it will actually spin you quicker, because the steering in this game is actually based on a real physical process, right? So when you try and steer your ship, there's no torque being applied to your ship. What's happening is the right engine is applying its force at the position the engine exists, and because of the way the mass works, that spins the ship, right? Interestingly, I wonder how the game would feel if we increased the mass of the player. That's something I haven't really thought about that, but yeah, it could feel better Okay, so when we integrate our forces, let's look at our outline here. So we integrate our forces here. We work out the propel amount for each engine position. And what are you complaining about? Wall detector is not. Oh yeah, so this is our front wall detector. And that's front wall detector. Ah, dear, that one as well. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that is essentially applying it to the engines themselves. And so any force, any back force that we apply in this method is going to affect the rotation of the ship. So what we could do here is apply lateral wall correction. Does that make sense? I think that kind of makes sense. As a name. So I don't think I want to apply the wall correction at the positions of the engines. I think we need to just nudge the player from the central point when they're getting close. So if we go if left wall detector dot is colliding and not right wall detector dot is colliding. Well, in fact, I think we can do this in the way that robotic likes with math. So we can say that the direction is 0, right? And the direction plus equals, woo, maths, woo. So if the left wall detector is colliding, then we want to increase it. So we want an integer value of that. Oh, the van, thank you for the follow. How is your day going today? If you're interested in testing the beta release of the game and get a free copy, jump into Discord or just post your email. I'll add you to the Google Play Store list of testers and you can give it a go. Okay. Nice. I love Blender. Blender's great. It can be a little tricky to get that into Godot sometimes, but okay, so plus equals. So if the left wall colliding, then we can treat that boolean as an integer and add it to the direction. Otherwise, it's, in fact, we can just do this in a single operation because maths. Whose tutorials are you watching? I can't remember the guy I've been watching. He's kind of like a big dude with a bald head. Okay. So then what we do is we apply a central impulse to the vector at the point vector 0, right? Oh, no, sorry. Because it's central, we don't need it. Okay, and then it's going to be a vector 2 with a 0 on the y, 0 on the y-axis and the direction on the x-axis, and we'll times it by our back thrust multiplier, right? Oh, wow, cool. Crossmind Studio. Fantastic. Yeah, I've seen some of their videos come up. I haven't actually watched these ones. It does look quite good though. How far along are you? Have you made anything cool yet? Day 3. Nice. Is lockdown making you all more creative, or is it just me? I'm not hating this lockdown. I mean, like, it's been really nice to just take life a little bit slower. Hence the chill hop. Oh yeah, you guys are doing like the herd immunity thing over there. In hindsight, it seems like that was probably the best thing to do. I mean, I don't know. It's maybe a little bit pessimistic to say that. So I'm from all over the place. I was born in the UK and I grew up in New Zealand. So literally the two polar opposites of the world. And then I lived in Germany 5 years, and I spent most of my career working for American companies. So that's probably why a lot of people get really confused by my accent. So it's a bit UK, a bit New Zealand, a bit German, and a bit American. So, you know. Where are you guys from? I love accents. I think it's so fascinating to study people's like accents and different combinations of things, and the phonoaesthetics of speech. It's something that I find deeply, deeply fascinating. Oh, cool, you're from Bosnia. Man, how's it over there? I've never been to Bosnia. I only really got as far east as Bulgaria. I suppose Bulgaria, yeah. Well, I was thinking about heading down to Bosnia, but ran out of time. Okay, cool. Let's give this a test. Let's just check. Apply lateral walk. Cool. We're gonna get it running now. Okay, so the whole premise of the game is it's a split screen game for mobile, which you know, that's kind of unique, right? Not a lot of people are doing. I've never seen a split screen game on mobile, to be honest. And so each player takes a different half of the screen, and they get 3 buttons each. So we've got a sort of unique control scheme, and the game works so that you've got about 30 seconds to race around the level and collect stars and weapons. And your weapons are disabled for the first phase of the game. So it kind of makes me... I'm trying to bring back like that feeling of like laser tag and Mario Kart. So you know in laser tag when the round begins and everyone just rushes through the maze trying to find good locations and stuff like that? That's sort of what I'm trying to recreate. And then also, you know, like the weapon pickups of like Crash Team Racing, Mario Kart, that sort of thing. And then when phase 2 begins, all the stars disappear, and so all you're left with is how many you picked up in the first round, and that's essentially your life total. And it works a little bit like the power rings from Sonic the Hedgehog. So if I was able to remove 2 of the stars, and then